We're at the Frist Center for the Visual Arts, and we're taking a tour of the Mumford display. We have several veterans and spouses who are going with us for this program. One of the reasons that we've set this up, and one of the reasons we're part of this show, is that we want to let folks realize how seeing some of the images of war, even if they're the images like the Mumford, where it's more of the downtime, the images provoke conversations and trigger memories for people that they can have conversations. So many of our spouses never see any scenes from where their soldiers have been, so it's really helpful for them to see some pictures, even if it's just of the McDonald's in Kuwait, but it triggers some memory for their soldier and it starts a conversation. And most of our spouses and our families are really hungry for conversations about what did you see, what did you do, and a lot of times, well, most people don't come home from war with snapshots of what they saw and the places they went, so it's really helpful to see these images, and even if they're just mundane everyday images, it still are things that they'll remember. Oh, I know I was there, or I remember seeing something like that, and it's really helpful to sort of trigger and start a conversation. We have a couple of counselors here tonight with us. Most of them are either veterans or they've brought their spouses, and some of them are female veterans also, and this is a chance for them just to have conversations that they might not have had. They may have, even if they've wanted to have conversations, very often you need something that jogs your memory. So we know that this will start conversations for them, but they'll also go back and tell their friends, hey, you need to go see this art. This is going to give you a chance to have some conversations that you maybe didn't have before, and it's going to bring some healing that you haven't had. We've seen already, whether it's with music or art, that it helps people to express what they maybe couldn't express verbally, and so this is a chance for them to express that in a way that maybe it would be difficult otherwise, and they'll go back and tell their friends about that, because if it's helpful, they're going to share it. Well, it's vital. Part of the problem that we see with some of our veterans from former wars is that nobody ever had the conversations, and the family members are sad because they never knew what their soldier had been through, and the soldiers too often die without ever having a chance to find healing. We still have soldiers from World War II who go to bed in their 80s and still have nightmares, and part of what we have found is that sharing and talking about what you've seen and letting other people hold the memory with you is healing and can help you to, most people are afraid if I start talking about it, it's going to make it worse, when in fact it makes it better.
We're actually very involved with SAFE, so when Jodi told us she was coming out here and looking at the exhibits, we came along, or really my wife came along and just decided to drag me along. So
a lot of this I never saw. I only got the phone calls in the middle of the night, my time, and morning Aaron's time. But I just noticed the exhausted man, and you could see it in his face before you approached the piece of art. And I showed it to Aaron and said, wow, that guy looks tired. And Aaron had to remind me, well, that was me all the time, and it was all of them all the time. But it's given us things to talk about. I would recommend it to other couples, definitely.